This has been so delightful, and I'm not saying that because I'm clearly drunk. Can you tell I'm really concentrating how to enunciate at the moment? Like I say, your passion has shone through, and now we've got to go and sober up with cooking. Where are we going now?
We are going to a cookery school, the Sied Cookery School.
A shed, yeah.
And we're going to cook some soup. No, not soup.
Cawl.
Cawl. I was brought up on cawl. Oh God, maybe we should.
Do you mean to do cawl on it? You're going to make a mess of
it. Lovely pun.
No, a shed is great. Lisa does great things, and she's a fantastic supporter of local food here in Carmarthenshire. And yeah, her recipe books are a go-to for us at this time of year.
Oh, great!
Well, I've got both my grandmother's voices in my head, so let's go and see how she butchers a cow.
I'm so drunk. I was like, we're butchering a cow. I'll do it. I'm a vegan, but I'll do it. Fwrdnes is a really long-running comedy night, and they really prioritise booking Welsh acts as well.
Yeah. It is, quite a key venue for comedy, and attracts big names.
Internationally as well, they've got Tanopolis' studios are there, and
S4C has moved to Carmarthen now as well, and they're very keen to showcase more comedy.
Anna Thomas is from Llanelli as well.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well, and also, an insane amount of comedians have come from this area, Carmarthenshire. Yeah. We have just walked into the most beautiful space. It's very Christmassy because we're very lucky to be here for Christmas, and we're in a shed to have a cookery lesson with the lovely Lisa. Hello, Lisa.
Hello. Shwmae, siwr
Good, diolch.
Yeah, diolch. It's this is the best looking former cowshed I've ever been in, and I've been in a few, Lisa. I don't want to brag. This is gorgeous. So it's a big, lovely high ceiling with the original wood beams, two sort of mezzanine levels at either end. It's a real hub, isn't it?
It's lovely, and you've got all products and stuff out, and it's like the dream pantry. It's like a whole house of a pantry.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I started the business in the house, which isn't too far away, and then I modelled this on. It works in the kitchen, so let's recreate the kitchen down here.
This feels like you're in someone's house.
Yeah. Do you have all ages coming and using this space then?
Yes, originally my youngest went to school, and I started the classes for her sort of age. Then they became teenagers, so I had a teens class automatically. The younger siblings of the first classes started coming, so we had the little younger ones, which we now call little pumpkins. And then the parents used to come along saying, "Oh, how do you make that then? And is that how Brussels sprouts grow?" And then, we need classes. So I started adult classes. So now we do the full range. So I say, if you can sit up, I can teach you how to cook.
And do you do a mix of Welsh and English classes?
I tend to just accept whoever wants to come. And then I speak whichever language they prefer, bilingual.
So it's not dedicated?
No.
It's great because that's how the language exists, right? You chop and change whoever you're chatting to, and even if you're all together, we just
speak. Was that pun deliberate?
Yes. So what are we going to be making today?
We're going to be making some traditional Welsh ham cawl and barley cawl. Ham.
I was convinced, it's going to be lamb. It's definitely going to be lamb. In the countryside in Wales and Welsh-speaking Wales, you will have been brought up on cawl. I remember my mum used to make cawl in a pressure cooker. Yeah. I remember the smell and the taste of it. Yeah, that noise. I can't unhear it. And the whole house would smell of cawl. We'd go to school the next day stinking of cawl.
But so what? I'll be doing barley cawl.
You're going to be making barley cawl. And I don't know whether it is a thing, quite honestly, but I remember my grandfather was the cook, and he'd be boiling his cawl. Both grandparents made cawl, actually, but my grandfather, I remember, just after putting the meat in and the vegetables in, he'd always throw in 2 handfuls of barley. And I never really thought about it. And then when I was eating the cawl, you'd have these little chewy nuggets at the bottom. Oh boy, did I like those. And I think now, and especially when the kids were little, I used to do all sorts of things. I used to put pasta in, believe it or not. Anything to fill them up, It's because they'd always leave the potato behind. So I thought, well, they like pasta. Let's put some pasta in. So I don't know what you call pasta cawl, but anyway. But yeah, the barley works really well. So you're going to be making exactly the same, but with barley, vegetable stock. You'll be using chicken stock and ham.
Great, so nice. I love the thought of pasta cawl. It's like, when you get fusion restaurants. Italian Welsh. I can't wait.
No, I'm really excited about this. Let's do it. Let's chop some veg.
Let's go.
So what do we do with, there's loads of gorgeous veg here.
Yeah, so basically cawl root vegetables. So swede, carrots, parsnips. Some say you should start with the harder vegetables first. So carrots obviously take quite a long time to boil. Much less time to boil a parsnip until it's cooked. Swede takes forever. So you put your carrot and swede in first. You can add the onion, you can add the leek, but then you'd add the potato and the parsnip last. What I tend to do, because who's got time to be hanging around looking at a pot deciding which minute you put your parsnips in, I change the size of the cut. So I cut the hard things small because they cook faster, and then I cook the parsnips big.
Science.
Yeah, the advantage of that, as far as my kids go, they know which bits to leave behind.
So is it just a case of basically chopping it up and
let's peel and chop.
Right.
But whilst you do that, so there's 2 ways again. I've got a kilo, just a small kilo. For cawl, we can make it the slow way and boil the whole piece. Take about 45 minutes. You've got the stock and you've got a whole piece of ham for making into a meal tonight, let's say. Or if you know you're just going to use it for cawl, you can chop it up into cubes raw and add it in with the vegetables and it'll cook in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Again, it's all to do with the size of the piece, you know. So I suggest this afternoon, because I'm hungry, we chop this up into small pieces and we bring it in with the vegetables and we have cawl in 20 minutes.
And you save a bit on electricity as well by not cooking stuff twice.
Definitely. But you haven't got the piece then to carve. That's the only disadvantage.
No.
Starving, please.
Right, let's do it.
So this is quite a quick meal then.
Yeah, I think so. And economical to make and to cook, actually, because it's not going to take too long to make. It's using all the cheap vegetables you can find in the supermarket. There's nothing fancy.
As a child, the reason I loved having cawl was because you would have really nice bread, butter and cheese with it. And I was in it for the carbs.
Just you two aggressively trying to stop me being a vegan. Everything you're describing sounds absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah, but barley is great as well, isn't it?
Oh, come on, mate.
Now I bought these a glass of tea and little mini potatoes. So I'm going to just pop those in.
Oh.
Because I think that... Ooh, does that hurt? Does that...
No, because I immediately see that and I think, oh God, I'm not going to know how it's ready. Like, I'm going to have to keep, like,
but they're so small, they'll be fine.
Okay.
Don't panic. Don't panic.
Do you have people come here and ask you to teach them to cook specific things? Do you get requests?
Yes. More recently, I've learned to cook Sri Lankan hoppers.
Oh my gosh, hoppers are amazing. I went to Sri Lanka on holiday.
What are they?
Hoppers are amazing. Pancakey type
It's
thing.
like a pancake. It's a slightly fermented pancake. So I'm still learning. I'd never heard of Sri Lankan hoppers before that.
Sri Lankan food's great.
Yeah.
There's an amazing dish called kotu.
Okay.
We'd have double dinners. We'd walk along we'd go and have one there because they were like £2. We'd have one there. We'd have a mango daiquiri. Then we'd go to the next one and go, well, should we have dinner, darling? And like do the whole charade in front of them, have another one, and then get another mango daiquiri on the way back. And that's what was our basically our holiday. I went up a dress size in 9 days.
You're talking about somewhere that you went on holiday and you remember that food, and it's not just about the food, it's the whole experience of it. And I think, especially this journey we're both going on around Wales, it's really nice to be able to taste what every area has to offer, because I will never book a holiday unless I know there's good food wherever I'm going. But I think to cook it as well, it gives you a different appreciation for where you've gone on holiday. And I think Welsh food does get a bad reputation.
It's so strange, isn't it, that Wales is known for its produce but not its food.
Yeah.
The lamb is famous, and you know, like just the land, and yet you would be like, oh, Welsh cuisine. And it's such a shame because there are amazing things. Like when you give someone who's never had a Welsh cake before, it's like they're having a religious experience. Should have a bit more confidence in our food as well as our produce.
Yeah. How should I chop this onion? Are you doing big chunks?
I do big chunks. That's it, like big chunks, but obviously you want it to be, we don't eat cawl with a knife and fork, so I always say mouth-sized pieces. I'm going to pop the kettle on to get some hot water. And there's some potatoes there, which you can just pop in, or you can cut them in half if you like. I won't be offended.
What did you call these? Tatws newydd, but what did you call them? Blasted?
Oh, Blasted. They're just from Pembroke. They're Pembrokeshire. They're Welsh potatoes.
They sell them in loads of supermarkets.
Oh, see, I cannot make cawl without crunching through a cube of swede.
I've never
Raw? Can I try some?
It's so good. It is a taste, yes. It's just got a little bit of sweetness and cake. Almost, how do you describe it?
That's great.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
The fresh taste to it. Toothpaste.
Like it doesn't taste... No,
Don't do that. Oh yeah, the Welsh brush their teeth with a parsnip or a swede.
Oh God. That's how those rumours start.
Yeah, exactly.
A vegetable stock or a chicken stock. There you go. Give it a little stir, and then you can just add that in.
Where should it come up to, basically?
Over the top. We need everything covered. Okay? And then we'll pop them to boil. We're going to have to wait 20 minutes for this to boil. Okay? Do you want to bring them through? We can top them up in here.
I think I might just
Yeah, I'll boil another kettle full now.
This is the kind of thing you could just chop it and leave. The whole thing is, it sort of takes care of itself, right?
Yes. And let's say your barley cowl looks really pretty, actually.
It does. It's quite photogenic, isn't it?
You're here, look.
Get a picture.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether I should add a handful of barley into mine as well. Hit and miss some.
I didn't realise how sort of rich in produce Carmarthen is. I've heard of the larder trails that they have, because this is on the mid-county one.
We're on the mid-county one.
Yes.
Along with a lot of other independently owned. I think that's the important thing to stress. Businesses that are promoting foods in Carmarthenshire. So, some of them are recommended for lunch, some for breakfast. We have the Cookery School and a Café in Carmarthen. And they just recommend places that really produce good quality local food, or locally sourced food.
Yeah, and Jin Talog's on there as well.
Yeah.
So it's like we've done a sort of pub crawl of everything.
But that is exactly what it is. It's a crawl of all the places worth going to.
You could book on a day trip that follows through, a county or a town, and you could just dip in and out of different things. So basically, the Ladder Trail, I'm going to buy this bus. I'm going to buy a bus, and I'm going to drive people around the trails.
Love it. And everyone will think you've had a breakdown. But I will book the first ticket on it.
Thank you.
One nice thing is that Carmarthenshire is very famous for pumping out iconic comedians.
Too many.
Quite irritating. Tidir and I are doing our best on Ynys Môn, but we can't hold a candle to Carmarthenshire. Of course, Ellis James being one of those, very passionate son of the county.
Yeah, and he's annoyingly decided to stick his nose in, and he has suggested some places that we should go if we ever get some more time to spend here. So we should probably hear what he has to recommend.
Hello, Kiri. Hello, Esyllt. Very pleased that you're going to Carmarthen, my old neck of the woods. Where can you go? Well, Carmarthen, obviously, as Wales' best town, has got an awful lot to offer. So why don't you go to the Plume of Feathers, which, when I was growing up, I was convinced, or everyone thought in town it was the smallest pub in Wales. Apparently, there's a smaller pub in Carmarthen called Bar Bach. But the reason I would prefer the Plume is that it's got the match ball from when Llanelli beat New Zealand in 1972 in it. So basically, that's the Plume of Feathers 1, Barbach 0. You could drink in the Boar's Head, which is Carmarthen's oldest pub, where Dylan Thomas once got so drunk that he fell and broke his arm. Didn't realise he'd broken it until he went to the Lyric Cinema, which is now a theatre. Watched a film, halfway through the film, realised his arm was pointing in the wrong direction. Great humour. It's all been quite pub heavy, this, isn't it? So what about the tip? Mum insists that the tip in Nantucket House is a great day out. So why don't you go to the tip? But you're just going to have a great time, mainly because Carmarthen's not a place. It's more of a sort of state of mind.
I genuinely thought it would be a better recommendation than nearly the smallest pub in Wales. Some more pubs and the tip.
But I genuinely love a day out at the tip.
Yeah, but that's not... I'm not sure this is why people are listening.
No. And also, I haven't brought all my junk with me, so it would be a wasted journey.
Also, what would happen in my family history is we would come back with more than we went with.
Right, so Cawl is ready. Would you like a little bowl full of it, or would you want to take it whole?
I would like to eat some, please.
Oh, parsley. Look at parsley. So this is from the garden earlier. It has been frozen overnight. It's been snowed on today.
So very fresh.
Thank you.
That ham is so juicy.
All right.
And it's sweet. And lovely.
Yeah.
How's the barley?
I'm going in for my first barley spoonful. Oh, it's yummy. It's like chewy. It's almost like what's that little sort of pasta that's
Orzo.
it reminds me of that.
Yeah.
This is yummy. It's so funny that our producer Joe has said can you finish the table because we've all just gone silent and we're just eating.
I don't want to say anything.
Lisa, thank you so much for this. This is really delicious.
It's been great. It feels like you're with a friend cooking, and it's great.
It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed, and I'm glad I made my own pan of Cawl. Isn't that like a topping as well?
Oh yeah, because I wasn't going to share.
Thank you so much for looking after us and feeding us. It's been the best parts of cooking, and it's chatting and learning things, but in such a relaxed environment, and then eating. My favourites. Thank you.
Yeah, diolch yn fawr.
Croeso.
Well, this has been the Carmarthenshire episode of Pod of Wales with me, Kiri Pritchard-McLean.
And me, Esyllt Sears.
Thank you so much to everyone all around the county who's given us so much help in putting this episode together.
It's been really lovely, and I think I'm just about sobering up.
Speak for yourself.
Pod of Wales is a Little Wonder production in association with Visit Wales.